Hi everyone, I'm Camille. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the stats and ECs that got me into schools like Princeton, UPenn's Huntsman program, which is Wharton in the college, USC, Georgetown, Walsh School of Foreign Service, NYU, a full ride, and more. Since posting my college decision reaction video, this is by far my most requested video. And honestly, I was a bit weary or hesitant to share stats and ECs. Yeah, so I just want to do a quick disclaimer. So this information I feel like should be taken kind of with a grain of salt. With college admissions, your profile is really dependent on your school, your background. There's so many other different factors, and just because these statistics and these extracurriculars got me into these schools doesn't mean that it's going to be the same for you. Every single person is different. So please just take it with a grain of salt and hopefully use it as inspiration or motivation. I'm also going to go over some basic demographics. I have my transcript and my Common App and all that that I'm going to be referencing. So yeah. For my school profile, I went to a Quaker boarding school. We did our GPA on there's no weight. So it was on a 4.3 scale. 4.3 is the highest. And we also had no class rank. So honestly, I don't understand the GPA scale that well because prior to my senior year, it was an 100-point scale, and my GPA was in the 96 or 7 range for our grading system. An A minus is a 90 to 92, which is a 3.7. An A is a 93 to 96, which is a 4.0, and A plus is a 97 to 100, which is a 4.3. So my GPA, my cumulative GPA at the time of applying was a 4.16. So freshman year, I had a 4.15, sophomore year, I had a 4.18, and then junior year, I had a 4.15. So like I said, we don't have class rank. Oh my God, my school also doesn't have APs. So I took as many advanced classes as I could. Guess I'll go through them all. For my course load, the average course taken at my school per semester is 5 or 6 classes, and there's 8 slots. So my freshman year, I took 6 classes both semesters. My sophomore year, I took 6 classes first semester, 7 classes second semester. Junior year, I took 7 classes both semesters plus junior seminar, which was once a week. So I had basically I had a full schedule, except sometimes I had a free period. And then senior year, I took 7 classes first semester and 6 classes second semester plus senior seminar, which was at night. And that 7 classes actually killed me. If do not do too many classes your senior fall, please. Like I said, my school doesn't have any APs, but we do have advanced classes, and for my course load, I took as many advanced classes as I could. So what that looks like is, in the end, out of all my classes in my entire high school career, I took 25 advanced classes. I only took 1 AP exam because my school doesn't teach the AP curriculum. I took AP Calc, AB. I didn't study at all for if you watch my Japan vlogs, I have a whole disclaimer video there. But I got a 2 on that. So really bad. I didn't submit that anywhere. I didn't have an upward trajectory during my high school career. I think my grades were pretty consistent. I got mostly A pluses and A's throughout all my years. And I did have a rigorous course though, because I took majority, if I could take the advanced version of the class, I took the advanced version. And I also I overloaded my schedule. So I think junior year especially was really, I had the max amount of classes I could take, and they were all advanced besides the 2 classes I couldn't take advanced. And then I got A pluses and A's in all my classes. Senior fall, I also did a really good job. I had A pluses in all my classes besides my my calc class, and I was also taking 7 classes in the fall. For standardized tests, I took the SAT twice, and the first time I got a 1450. I took it summer before my junior year, and then I took it again in December of my junior year, and I got a 1480, and my super score was a 1490, and I submitted this score to all my schools. Another thing on my transcript is the summer after my sophomore year, I took Chinese classes at the University of Mississippi, and that was on my transcript, that was attached, and I got a 4.0 in that, and that was Chinese 201 and 202. Okay, now I'm just gonna go look at my Common App and kind of talk about that. And sorry, this is video's kind of a mess. Hopefully it gets fixed in the editing. But for my honors, my first one I had was Commended Student in a National Merit Scholarship Program. I forget what score I got my PSAT, but I know I got full points on the reading and writing, and then not full marks on the math. And then my second one I put the College Board National Recognition Program for Outstanding Academic Achievement. And then I put National Chinese Honor Society, the Elliott Math Award, which was an award for most improved grade. I got that my sophomore year. I was taking Algebra 2 and Trig, which is Algebra 2 and Pre-Calc in the same year. That math award I just said, and then Pennsylvania Area Lacrosse Team Award. So my awards weren't anything like crazy. They weren't like Princess Diana Award. Like, I feel like they were pretty basic. Okay, now into my activities. So my first one I had was class officer. So this was just like planning class activities, fundraising, organizing things, class meetings, communication, I did this freshman year, sophomore year, and then my senior year. It was like 6 hours a week. It varied depending on the week. If we were doing a fundraiser, it was like definitely more. If we weren't, it was definitely less, so like average out. My second activity, which I think definitely was like the big thing in my application, was foreign exchange student. This was I did a summer exchange in Japan, and I got like the Japan American Friendship Scholarship for that. So with that, I attended school, did like language and culture immersion. Then I also submitted a paper to sponsors and presented to my school on my experience. Third activity was varsity soccer. I did this all 4 years of high school, and I was also captain my junior and senior year. Fourth activity was Model UN. I was a member 11th grade and a head senior year. I didn't win any awards for this, but it like goes well with my international relations like major, so that's why I have it kind of high up. The next activity is a proctor, which since I went to boarding school my junior year, I was basically an RA. I was one of the 4 juniors living in the freshman dorm, and that was selected by the dorm staff, and I led dorm meetings, mediated conflicts, monitored study hall, communicated issues, stuff like that. My next one was I was an ambassador for my school my sophomore and junior year, and then I was a head my senior year. I did tours for prospective students, I interviewed students, I met with consultants, and I served on panels. And there were 7 other ambassador heads, and there were like 80 ambassadors. So I put like in my thing, I put like co-led a team of 80 plus ambassadors, because like it's important to have metrics. The next one I put was Black Student Union and Black Women's Affinity Group. I was just a member all 4 years of high school. I put an hour a week because I didn't really do that much. I just like went to the events. The next activity I have is work. I worked at McDonald's and I was a crew member my freshman and sophomore year. And I wrote about like working in a fast-paced environment, handling orders, doing cash. The next activity I put was my club soccer team. I did this my freshman and sophomore year. And this was like 21 hours a week. And it was like practice, games, showcases, training outside of practice. The team I was on was like a nationally ranked team, like consistently. The entire time I was on it, we were top 10 in the country, and it was a very big part of my underclassmen years and like a huge time commitment. And even though the counselor at my school said like not to put both soccer, like school soccer and club soccer, I felt that it was like really important to my profile and like understanding, you know, if she wants to do international relations, why is Model UN starting her junior year? Well, because I was doing club soccer the underclassmen years. So yeah, I put that. And also like, yeah, I just thought it was important. Like even if so that's like a piece of advice, like even if people say like, don't put that, if you think it's important to like sharing your full story, then I would say put it. And then my last one was just steering committee. That's like a very specific thing to my school, but we would meet and create an agenda for this thing called Meeting for Business, where people just kind of express their concerns about things that are happening in the school and ways to improve the community and things like that. So I did that all 4 years of high school. One of the strengths in my activities list is that I had leadership in majority of my activities. And if I didn't have leadership, it was something I was doing consistently all 4 years of high school. I think also I had a range of activities. So I wasn't just doing like robotics, math club, STEM tutoring, this. Like I wasn't doing the same type of like niche. And then it's all my 10 activities. Like they were a range of different things. I had school leadership, I had sports, I had my exchange. In my additional information, I explained what a proctor was just a little bit more. It was like a sentence. And then I also said that I worked at Kava for 16 hours a week during my junior year spring. And then I also wrote like a mini essay, probably like 200 words about the Global Leadership Certificate programs. And that little mini essay also gave me a chance about how I volunteer weekly teaching English to Chinese immigrants with a club at my school. I'm not gonna go over like all my essays. I can maybe make a separate video about like essays for specific schools, maybe, I don't know, depends on how I feel. But for my Common App essay, I think it shares an important philosophy that I believe in, and I think that that's like kind of the most important part. Like it's not one of those essays that's gonna like make you start tearing up, and it's not like a super emotional, and like I have stories of hardship that I could have shared, but I felt like that's not what I wanted. My first impression of the colleges, I want the colleges that are reading my application first impression to be of like how I really care about bringing people together and sharing my interests and like staying true to myself and things like that. So that's why I decided to go with this for my topic. Okay, now letters of recommendations. I would recommend doing a teacher who like you have like a relationship with and who can like really speak about like you and your personality, but also like your academic abilities. But I did my history teacher, my Cold War US-China relations teacher, because I love that. Like that
class genuinely changed my life. Like that class maybe is what made me realize like what I want to study in the future, and it made like such an impact on me.
And I guess that teacher, I did do steering committee with him for all 4 years, and then I also did Model UN with him. And the second letter of rec I had was my physics 2 advanced letter or teacher. I felt like he could talk or speak to my perseverance in a subject that I struggled with and didn't like, because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really like struggle in that many classes besides like that one. So I wanted a teacher that could talk about like my work ethic. Overall in my application, I think I was like a pretty well-rounded individual, like extracurricular wise and course selection wise. But within my applications, I think I definitely like showed my spike, or like I really emphasized my interest in international relations and things like that. I think what impressed my colleges the most was like definitely my Japan exchange. And it's not like the exchange that I think was impressive, it was how I wrote about it and how I shared about the impact it's had on not just me, but the people around me and people in communities that I've built. Another thing I think that really helped me get into colleges was my letters of continued interest. I wrote a letter of continued interest for Yale after I got deferred, and like obviously that didn't work. But for schools, like I switched from my history classes, and then for most of my schools I could just email the change and it was like fine. But other schools I'd like put it into my portal. So when I was putting my course change in the portal, I also gave an update on like awards, my grades, obviously the course change, and then I also put a little blurb about like the school. And I could make a video on like my letter of continued interest like guide. I mean, I don't think it worked that well because I didn't get into Yale, but I think it definitely did help for Penn and Georgetown. And I want to just end the video off by saying to all my people like applying out there, start your essays. The hardest part is getting started, so just start them. And don't try to enjoy your senior fall. It's like a stressful time and you're gonna be really, really busy, but just try to like enjoy as much as you can. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know if you want like a video on some of my essays, or if you want to know like why I chose Princeton over some of my other schools. And yeah, instead of going to Princeton next year, I'm actually gonna go to Indonesia with their gap year program. So expect like many vlogs from that if I like actually get around to editing, because I'm clearly very bad at doing that in a timely manner. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye.